Hello everyone. Hi, Namaste. My name is Manas Gunani and I scored a 256 in the USMLE Step 1 last year. I'm currently a MBBS intern at SMS Medical College, Jaipur, Rajasthan.
No, it doesn't really look like that. It's actually more like this. So coming back to the topic.
I guess everyone at Indian medical colleges at some point of time faces this dilemma that whether to do USMLE or NEET PG or PLAB or just become a MO at your local PHC and become the superhero there. Well, this video is not about becoming that superhero. It's about USMLE, the United States Medical Licensing Examination. USMLE is essential if you want to do your post-graduation, that is residency or fellowship in the US and eventually practice there as a doctor. So without further ado, let's get started.
USMLE is a three-part exam comprising of Step 1, Step 2 and Step 3.
Now Step 1 is a 8-hour long exam consisting of 7 blocks of 40 questions each and a 1 hour of total break time. You can take breaks whenever you want between the blocks but not during a block. You'll have to solve the block first and complete it and then you can take a break. Step 1 tests your basic sciences skills of first and second year subjects like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, pathology, pharmacology, microbiology and biostatistics. Now the major part of Step 1 exam is comprised by pathology, that is approximately 50%, and in that too mostly systemic path. Yes, systemic path is that second book of Robbins which we often ignore during our second year. मैंने तो बहुत ज़ोर से ignore किया था उसको, but that's important here. Also the question pattern in USMLE is quite different from that of NEET PG. You can take an example here.
Now this is an sample Step 1 question directly from the official website. Let's see it. Weight loss, heartburn, the pain is severe at night. So as you can see, the pain occurs at night and on empty stomach, so this is most probably due to duodenal ulcer. The patient also has an ulcer at the antrum of the stomach. And photography, silver staining shows an organism here. So as you have already guessed, this is peptic ulcer disease caused by H. pylori. So what the question is asking here is which of the following processes is most likely to be involved. With regards to H. pylori, elaboration of proteases and urease with local tissue destruction, yes. Hyperacidity and gastric ulcer development, no, that is due to gastrinoma or Zollinger and Ellison syndrome. Ingestion of preformed toxin in contaminated water, no, H. pylori doesn't secrete that. Spirochete infusion, no, H. pylori isn't a spirochete. So you see the correct answer is A.
So you see, these exams are more about applying knowledge rather than just learning it. To be honest with you, when I first started preparing for USMLE during my third year, I was still not so sure whether to do USMLE or pursue NEET PG later. So I just gradually started doing it. And with time, as time progressed, I eventually fell in love with how the questions were asked, how the things were asked in USMLE. It just felt like you are a real doctor out there in the field making important clinical decisions for your patients. It just feels good, huh? The Step 2 has two parts. The Step 2 CK, that is the written MCQ exam just like Step 1, and Step 2 CS, that is the practical exam. The Step 2 CK is a 9-hour long exam just like Step 1, just a tad bit longer, 1 hour longer, and it comprises of total 320 questions, 8 blocks of 40 questions each, and you get the same 1 hour break time total. Now Step 2 CK tests you on your subjects of pre-final and final year of the Indian curriculum like Optha, ENT, not PSM, in final year medicine, surgery, obs gynae, pediatrics. These are tested in Step 2 CK, and the question pattern is almost like Step 1. The question stems are little bit longer and they ask what is the next best step. The USMLE exams can be scheduled according to yourself. Now that can be a good thing as well as a bad thing. Good because you can schedule it whenever you feel like I want to give the exam, you do it. Bad because you never feel like you are 100% ready, never. And you keep on postponing it till the time you may even lose a ear. So what I suggest is just pick a date from the start and start preparing for it, like you would do for NEET PG, and eventually you would complete your course by that date. You may give your step 1 first and then step 2 CK, or vice versa, but it is strongly advised to give your step 2 CK after your step 1, because it is required to have deep understanding of your step 1 concepts that would be applied during your step 2 exam. Step 1 and step 2 CK scores are reported in 3 digits, that is ranging from 0 to 280, and anything above 250 is considered really good. However, the step 1 score reporting is going to change from January 26, 2022 to pass or fail, and no 3-digit scores will be given after that. Step 2 CK would however continue to give you 3-digit scores. Step 2 CS was the practical exam that only could be given in the US, but now it has been completely scraped down. In place of Step 2 CS, the USMLE has come up with another test, that is OET, Occupational English Test. So what this is, it's a specific English proficiency test, especially for the healthcare workers. It comprises of 4 sections, just like the TOEFL exam: the reading, writing, listening and speaking. But the questions are specifically made considering the situations that healthcare workers experience in their daily life. Like the reading section could be about a medical journal, the speaking section could be about a hospital scenario where you talk to a patient, how you take his history or something. OET scores are reported from 0 to 500. 350 are the passing marks, and you just have to pass the exam. Now step 3 is a 2-day long exam. Day 1 is 7-hour long, consisting of total 230 MCQs divided into 6 blocks, and the same 1 hour of total break time. Day 2 is 9-hour long, consisting of 180 MCQs divided into 6 blocks, same 1 hour total break, and also 13 computer based case simulations. Now these computer based case simulations are each up to maximum 20 minutes long, and they're just like real world scenarios that tests your medical knowledge and instantaneous decision making skills. The step 3 content is a mixture of both step 1 and step 2. So the course can be very wide, but the good thing is that you are not necessarily supposed to give your step 3 exam before your residency. You can apply before giving step 3, and you can actually give your step 3 exam during your first year of residency there. So now you are done with your step exams, you are done with your OET exam. What next? What now? So now begins the whole new process of applying for US clinical electives, getting those letters of recommendation, writing up your personal statement, brushing up your CV, doing some research or volunteer work, and then eventually applying for an interview, and many more things which I've talked about in my next video. Stay tuned. Till then, peace.